In this video, I'm gonna make a Splatoon poster in SFM, and as a surprise to nobody, if you watch it when it comes out, it's Christmas, which means I gotta make a poster. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, the poster is not that Christmassy, it's more just a winter poster in general, but it does have some stuff like Christmas lights, but that's about it. Since my OC, Tanisha, is gonna be outside, I first gave her new clothes, a winter jacket and scarf, and if you're OG, you'll recognize the jacket from before. But this time, I didn't give her that beanie, because I wanted you to be able to see her full hair, which makes it look kinda cozy with the scarf. So before even starting, I was looking at some references, and something I wanted to try was for her to lean against a railing and look out at the snow. But something I didn't realize at the time was, I didn't know what to do for the background. I only had the railing, so it could be literally anywhere. Something I wanted was some backlighting, so that narrowed down my options to either a sunset or perhaps a street lamp behind her. Since I do sunsets so often, I went with street lamps instead, and then I also thought I could make a city to make it fit. But that might have been a mistake, because something I forgot about, how are you supposed to make a city during winter look vibrant? The answer is, you don't. Okay, you can do it, either filling it with colorful props or mess with the color grading, or something like that. Anyway, a city, which barely has any color to begin with, paired with the dead trees and snow is a recipe for a depressing look. I'm exaggerating a bit, of course, but it was quite challenging to bring out the color, which you'll see later in the video. Alright, back to the actual scene instead of rambling about color. When I think of winter in a city, I'm thinking more older European architecture, so I went with the old style street lamps and these European looking buildings, I guess, and also a dead tree in the background to emphasize more that it's winter. Then to give it more of a festive or Christmassy feeling, I also added Christmas lights connecting the two street lamps, which made it feel like it's something temporary, like it's actually Christmas and they're gonna take it down soon. From the very beginning, I wanted it to be snowing in the scene, not just some snow on the ground, but I also wanted all the props to have snow on them as well. So I came up with making a copy of every model and then giving it a snow texture, and then putting it slightly higher up than the original, which makes it look like there's snow on everything. I was actually quite surprised by how well it worked, because I thought it wouldn't work at all, or at the very least look bad, but no, I think it worked really well. And then finally, before exporting, is the lighting. Since there's street lamps and Christmas lights, it would make sense for it to be night in the scene, but my previous poster was during night as well, and also had the same street lamps, if you don't count the promo art I made. So I struck a balance by not making it daytime, but making it more like dusk or evening. The sky is slightly pink and quite dim, so that meant it would still make sense for the lamps to be pretty bright, and also gave me room to do some interesting lighting. And then it was time for editing. I had a lot of cleanup to do, it was nowhere near done, not even the street lamps were on, but I first started with cleaning up the model and places where I messed up, and also my usual editing to Tanisha, like making the dots glow. And then it was off to the races with everything else, like snow, the lamps, color grading, and so on. I'm not gonna bore you with talking about all of that, so I'm gonna let you enjoy the rest of the time-lapse. So see you when it's done. Okay, it's finally done. It took a lot longer than expected. I think that's because I'm not very used to making these kinds of scenes and also winter posters in general. So I'd say I'm happy with it. So there were some challenges. The biggest one was the colors, because Tanisha is in a city here. There's not a lot of colors in the scene, so it was a struggle to bring it out somehow without making it feel like it's like oversaturated or just too muted. I tried to find a good balance and grade it to a nice style, and it was quite quite hard, but I landed on something alright, I'd say. But I wish I could made it better. But something I'm very happy with is the snow. You can see how there's only one layer of snow. There's only one, and that's because the depth of field on this poster is quite shallow. You can see Tanisha is nice and sharp, but the background very blurred. That means not a lot of snow would be in focus. To make it work, I added a white overlay on the background and made it stronger the farther you go out. You can see here it's very white compared to Tanisha over here, and that simulates that there's a lot of snow in the air. And if you zoom out, I think it captures that quite well. And then we have the lighting, which was kind of hard to make it work in this like dusk scene or whatever time of the day it is. It's not like daytime and it's also not night, so it's like in between. It's like evening, dusk or whatever. So I tried my best to make it work. So even though it's not completely night, you would still in real life experience these as quite bright. You can see how on the back of Tanisha's head, the light from this street lamp is like reflecting on her here, and also on this side as well. You can see on her face, and also the tree, because I imagined it would be kind of close to the street lamp, so it would also have some light on it. And lastly, I made her ears, face and fingers slightly red, and also you can see her breath to make it look like it's cold. I think it's a nice touch. I've done it before, but I thought I'd mention it. So yeah, that's the poster and I'm happy with it. If you celebrate it, Merry Christmas, and there's one more video coming out this year, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, that's it for the video, so thanks so much for watching and bye!